you might find more attractive. I'd invest.
I'm not interested in attractive.
Right. No, I'd invest.
But I've been to so many of these hearings
Right.
where people come, talk about catastrophe, and you say, okay, what do we do about it? And you get nothing but nonsense.
Right.
So if you could give me, this is your chance, just 3 specific things, King, that you would do.
I would pass a cap and trade bill in the U.S. to find the least cost ways of dealing with climate change.
Tell me how that would work.
You essentially place a cap on emissions, you give permits or allowances to entities, and you allow them to trade. That trading shifts the cost burden to the lowest cost entities. We found that that can save 70% of the potential costs of dealing with climate change as opposed to passing across the board.
You put a tax on carbon?
Well, it's different than a tax because you can freely grant these allowances and then it's trading. So it's not a tax. It's different than a tax.
All right. How much do you think all this will cost? Your best guess.
I don't have a dollar figure, but the figure is a lot lower than what I've heard on this side of the aisle today.
Well, you think we ought to just do it and then worry about the cost?
No, I think we should do studies.
Guess? You advise the UN, and you're at USC, and that's a pretty good school.
Right.
What's your best guess about what it'll cost us to decarbonize by 2050? Give me a figure first.
I would say it might cost us 2% of GDP per year. So that's in terms of the U.S. to start, and that's a couple of $100 billion.
Couple of $100 billion
to start, and then it'll level off.
Is that every
year? And eventually,
I
think
we'll
save money.
I don't know why I can't get straight answers. Okay,
right.
Y'all want to talk about the problem, but you never want to answer the question.
No, I've been answering it.
Well, no, you haven't. I'm just asking for a figure. Mm-hmm. Does anybody have a figure that it would cost to decarbonize by 2050? That's all I'm asking. Does anybody have one?
So my answer is you start out with $200 billion and you get down to a cost savings by 2040.
What would be the total cost by 2050, you think?
At most, a couple of $100 billion by 2050 over 25 years.
So you think we can totally decarbonize America by a couple of $100 billion?
Well, I didn't say totally decarbonize because remember I said carbon
neutral.
And start.
You're right, carbon neutral.
Right.
Does anybody disagree with that?
That estimate is probably, is that a yearly figure, I'm assuming?
No, that's total.
Total, 200 billion.
200 billion for the whole package.
For total with some.
What is your figure, Professor?
I'm not prepared to give a figure.
You don't know. You just want us to do it and pay for it later. Do you have a figure, ma'am?
No, sir, this is really out of my area of expertise.
And either you gentlemen?
Senator, I don't have a figure, and I wouldn't want to do the task you assigned me. But if you did, and I had to do that, I would take the Green New Deal and implement it. I would put the U.S. economy on a...
How much would it cost?
It'll cost our country, our liberties, our economy. We'll have to nationalize...
How much will it cost?
Our country.
Okay. Do you have an idea?
I have seen estimates that are a much higher percentage of GDP than Dr. Rose has indicated.
I mean, it's frustrating, folks. I don't mean to be rude, but I can't tell you how many hearings I've been through. And you say, well, the world is coming to an end. Okay. All right. How much will it cost? We don't know.
The point is, Senator, that the cost of doing...
We're not sure. We need to get back to you. No fair-minded policymaker is going to embark on something that might cost a minimum of $200 billion. Based on what I've read, that's low. I don't know why you won't just answer straight.
It's a difficult question to answer because...
Of course it's difficult. That's what you're here for.
Technology advances at different rates, and so if...
You want us to just go start and then worry about the cost later? Come on, Professor. This isn't Cambridge. These are taxpayers.
We need to make hard decisions now to transition.
Well, then how much will they cost?
We need to invest.
You don't even know.